So today's noir, after not really sleeping, because what is sleep? No one needs sleep. You actually do need sleep. I'm just having trouble sleeping. Um, After not really sleeping, I woke up very early this morning and watched the Phenix City story, which is a film I have been mispronouncing for a very long time because for some reason I never saw the I in the word, so I kept thinking it was the Phenix City story. So, anyways, if you've heard me say Phenix City story at some point, just go back in time and smack me and be like, Mariah, there's an I there. It's not spelled Phoenix like Phoenix, Arizona, so I don't know, my brain couldn't process. Phenix City is in Alabama, and this is a 1955 film noir directed by Phil Karlson that's based on a true story about Phoenix City and the way in which um, organized crime corruption was toppled. Now, there are several things to say before really going into the film. The thing that happened, the thing that happened that sort of was the tipping point was when Albert Patterson, who was elected Alabama Attorney General, was assassinated in 1954. They then had an investigative journalist who uncovered a lot of the corruption and things and won a Pulitzer Prize. People went to jail. Phoenix City was cleaned up. This film was made while that investigation was still happening. So there's a handful of things that are not correct. So for one, the main crux of the film is that he was assassinated by the mob. The reporters who won the Pulitzer Prize later said, after this film was made, they discovered that's not really what happened and that it was very much politically motivated. Two, they show, and this is something that's like kind of heartbreaking. They show a moment in the film where the mob is trying to intimidate the family. And so they kill the daughter of a friend. This friend happens to be black. The girl is black. Now, in the film, everyone is very upset about this, and they're not showing like the people, like, they're not racist, and they're not like it was just a black girl. Like, they're very upset, right? Because this is the daughter of a friend and a young girl, right? Where this becomes problematic is that never happened, and by basically using a black girl as a prop to show you how, one, that they would kill a black person first. So it's one, they're trying to show like the racism inherent in Alabama is that they would kill a black girl first to show you that then we'll kill your white kids, even though that didn't really happen in this particular case. And two, that's essentially using a black girl's life as a prop or as a story crux to make those people who are not racist feel better about not being racist. That in itself is racist and kind of horrible. And so you watch it now and think, well, this is progressive, except when you find out that, no, that was not actually progressive at all. It was fucking terrible, and geez. That said, the father of the girl is played by James Edwards, and he's always good. So it's unfortunate that in order to have him in the story, they had to do something so deplorable. But this is 1955, after all, so what are you going to get? That said, the film starts out, the version that's available on DVD from Warner Brothers, I think it's the Film Noir Collection 5, something like that, also includes the 13-minute newsreel-style preface where they actually talk to real people who were involved in the real investigation and real story here. That part was interesting and falls in line with a lot of the docudrama style noirs of the era, mostly Red Scare docudramas. There's a lot of those. And then the rest of it is just sort of a very by the books crime noir story. There's a lot of emotion, a lot of men crying, which is great. They really, really show like sort of the depravity of organized crime, which is great and sort of shocking for 1955. It does not feel like Leave It to Beaver, which is kind of the point. So this film, it's one of those. This film it had its heart in the right place, and is an interesting look at where America was in 1955 and where what it took to sort of take down organized crime. But then, like, is organized crime really gone? I don't know. And is it a really positive that they had to have martial law take over the city? I'm not sure if it's ever positive. Like, martial law is like the last like grasp of order, right? So like, I guess that makes it really super noir that like the happy ending is martial law. Like, no, please no. So this is, I guess, what I'm trying to say is this is a pretty bleak film. Lots of people die. Pretty much everybody dies in this movie. There's a lot of death in this movie, and not a lot of hope. And there's voter suppression and like all kinds of stuff. And they really show like people being like bloodied faces and stuff during the voter suppression sequence. Like, that said, other than James Edwards and his daughter who was killed, nobody in this movie's black. Because, they don't have any black people in Alabama. It's not, part of the South or anything. So, I don't know. Take this movie with a grain of salt. It's interesting to have an eye into what film, conscious filmmakers were trying to do in 1955. But remember that still in 1955, conscious filmmakers were not great. Because most things in 1955 were not great. This is on Martin Scorsese's list from his Martin Scorsese Presents Journey Through American Cinema with Martin Scorsese. So if you're trying to watch all the films listed on that list, this is a good noir for that. I think I have one noir left from that list to watch, which I'm going to try to see if they have at the rental store this weekend. So again, this was 1955's The Phenix City Story, and it's directed by Philip Karlson, and you can get it on DVD from Warner Brothers. It comes with Call 11. It's on a double disc with Call 119. I think that's what it's called. So you get 2 films for the price of one. But actually, it's in the entire set. So the set has like 10 films in it, I think. But when I rented it from Videodrome, you get the one disc, and we each disc has 2 films. So Phil Karlson's The Phenix City Story, 1955. Take it with a grain of salt. Read about the actual history that happened. Remember that, 1, history is, you have to look at it with as many facts as you can find. 2, investigative journalism is great. You should read what the journalists have discovered. And 3, keep enjoying your Noirvember.